Hey everybody, happy Wednesday evening live tutorial stream. Welcome Rune and everyone else who is out there on the internet to the Beading Dreams Wednesday evening live tutorial streams. Let's see, what have you missed? You missed Heather doing an epic live sale on Saturday without me. With Sam, so you also missed Sam on stream, and I've been told by multiple sources that both Heather and Sam did an amazing job on Saturday, so I actually missed that myself. But
everyone's pay will be in the mail.
But yeah, so that was Saturday. That was apparently super fun, and I'm sad I missed out on that, but I will say that my time away was very nice and relaxing, and I'm so glad to be back here with you all this evening. So today's tutorial is a wire wrapping tutorial, which I've named the Temple Pendant. So it is for a bead, not an undrilled stone. So in order to do this, you do have to have a bead that has a hole in it, and it has to have a hole through the top. So let's talk tools and supplies. For this evening's tutorial, you are going to need some thicker wire. I've got some 16 gauge sterling silver wire that I'm going to be using tonight. You're also going to need some thinner wire. So I've got some 26 gauge sterling silver wire. You are going to need a teardrop that, like I said, has a hole through the top. So top drilled teardrop. And how big this teardrop is going to, kind of determine how big your pendant is going to be. So a bigger teardrop makes a bigger pendant, a smaller teardrop makes a smaller pendant. As you can see from the photo, the teardrop kind of nestles in the bottom negative space of the piece. So the bigger your teardrop is, the bigger you're going to need to make your pendant. And as far as tools go, you're going to need pliers, which I don't have. I'll go grab those in a second. Round nose, chain nose, and wire cutters. You're also going to need a chasing hammer and a bench block or a bench block equivalent. You may also wind up needing some sandpaper or a file just for the hammered ends of your wire in case they wind up a little bit rough. So let me just run and grab my pliers. Be right back. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and start by cutting our 16 gauge wire. Now you could do this with 18 gauge if you wanted something that was a little bit more delicate, but if I'm making a frame of something, 16 gauge kind of tends to be my go-to. So thinking about how long I want to make my frame, plus the overlap. So I think I'm going to cut myself about 6 or 7 inches of wire. And I think I'm going to go for 7. So I've got 7 inches of my 16 gauge wire. And then it's going to make my life a lot easier if I mark the middle of it. And just theoretically means I need to find a marker. That'll work for now. So to find the middle of my wire, I'm just going to lay it on my ruler, mark the middle. So 7 inches, that means 3.5 is the center. And then I am going to grab something a little bit bigger than my round nose pliers to bend my wire around. And I think I'm going to use this. This is it's the handle of my bezel rocker, but it's going to work pretty well because it's a cylinder, and that's about the size that I want. So I'm going to take my center of my wire, and I'm just going to let it. Whoa, boy! I have been drinking caffeine, I promise, just not fast enough, I think. Also, I will say that this is one of those vacations that I need a vacation to recover from my vacation, which I did not get. Lots of fun, not a whole lot of sleeping. Okay, so I've got my wire. I'm going to hold it on the handle of my... I mean, yes, the whole week. Actually, we're getting to that point in the year where it's just nonstop crazy. Like, it's just all crazy all the time. Pretty much now until December 25th, it's just all nuts. Everyone is going to be rude, stressed, in a hurry, want everything 5 days sooner than we can possibly have it, and yeah, nuts all the time. Holidays in retail, nuts all the time. If I have one soapbox to be on at this time of year, it is be kind to the retail employees who are helping you out, because I guarantee you there have been plenty of unkind people that they've already dealt with, and they're probably already extremely stressed. So, be nice, be kind, be gracious. You're not the only one. Oh God, Rune, that just sounds horrifying. At least we're not open on Christmas. but yeah, seriously, if I have one thing to preach at this time of year, it is be kind to your retail employees, because they're having a hard... And by the way, all of us who work retail are trying to, get our own Christmas shopping in among all of the, extended hours that, and we at Beading Dreams don't do extended hours for Christmas anymore, but we used to. And, and I would be super grateful that, Target was extended hours until midnight, because I didn't get off of work until 10. So then I could, go to Target and do my Christmas shopping, or my Christmas meal shopping, or whatever. Like, So anyway, so be kind to your retail sales employees, because they're all about ready to explode. And the closer you get to Christmas, the more volatile we get. So, Speaking of stress relief, let's go ahead and... Oh, and it is also time to revive the story of the Christmas carrot at some point. But right now I'm going to pound on some stuff. So I used the handle of my bezel rocker to make a teardrop shape. And oh my God, Rune, sorry. Wow, that might have been a little too intense. Sorry. Hi, Tallyfoot. I have a well-documented hatred of Christmas music, because I've been in retail since I was 15. That's 28 years of Christmas fucking music. So maybe I do have some issues surrounding the the traditional carols of this holiday. Yeah, no, I hate Christmas. I really do. I just absolutely hate it to death. And then beyond, I hate it to the afterlife. Tallyfoot! Not nice! Tallyfoot's trying to trigger me, Heather! Oh, and also anyone who works in retail pretty much cannot play the Whamageddon game, because it's in all of the Christmas playlists. I think it's in our Christmas playlist at least 4 or 5 times. It is, yeah. So I know. Oh, okay, that's fair. Yeah, I know. Okay, that's fair. Tallyfoot, how are you feeling, by the way? because that completely sucks. Well, but how long have you been in retail, Heather? Like, you worked at Lowe's, but then you had a solid stretch.
There have only been like 5 years when I wasn't.
But off and on, as opposed to constantly since you were in your teens.
But off and on, except for maybe 5 years.
I don't know. I feel like you either have some kind of extended mental fortitude or maybe you're just lucky. I don't know.
Maybe that's what used up all of my mental fortitude.
Maybe. But yeah, I'm so sorry, Tally. That completely sucks. Yes, so the event I was at this weekend, one of the members of the group did test positive for COVID today. It looks like I am good still from having it in October. I will test again tomorrow just to be sure. I mean, I guess I could have COVID and work from home tomorrow, except I think Heather would come and bang on my door and like drag my ass out to work in my pajamas, unless I could produce a negative COVID or positive COVID test, like to show her. She'd be like, "No, bitch, you're coming to work."
I don't have the energy to do it. I just come to work and cry.
Oh,
doesn't that make you not want to do it?
It really does.
Yeah.
Okay, so on that note, let's go ahead and continue with the project. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pound. This is helpful if you're having a frustrating Christmas season already. I have yet to break to my mother that I am hosting Christmas at my house and expect her to attend. This is going to be a not fun conversation. So, when you feel like you're going to murder your family members, pound on some metal. Yay! So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flatten the ends of these wires. I'm going to do that with my chasing hammer. That means it's going to get a little loud in the stream, so if you want to turn me down, go ahead and do that, and I'll wave at you all when it's time for you to turn me back up. So 3, 2, 1, here I go with the hammering. I'm going to smash these ends. So the goal here is to just get a nice kind of paddle shape. Like so. And okay, you can turn the volume back on now. So if you have any rough spots from the hammering, you can use your file or your sandpaper to smooth those out. Ugh. Yeah, no. If I could tell COVID to be gone from the world, I totally would, because it's just horrible. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and do the peak at the top of my pendant. So I'm just going to bend this down. So my first goal is to align this wire with this wire. Then I'm going to do the same, aligning this wire with this wire. So now I have kind of this teardrop with my 2 bits, and then, oh dear, yeah, no, as someone who's now dealing with collections calls from my hospital stay, I'm gonna go with yay for not being in the hospital. Yeah, they're yeah. Also, it should not cost $7,000 to not die, but we do live in the USA. Okay, Rune, if you, I mean, I'm happy to take any actual advice because I don't quite know how to deal with it. So what I'm doing now is I'm just bending these around another form. In this case, it's my dry erase marker. So yes, if I will be in touch about that, because It would be nice not to be getting collections calls every day, 3 times a day for a bill that I can't afford to pay. So this is my basic form. And so you can tweak this however you want. You can make this wider, narrower, taller, shorter, but this is kind of the same proportions as we have on, once again, the sample photo, like so. So now I'm going to go ahead and start my wire wrapping, which means I'm going to need my 26 gauge wire. And I'm going to cut myself a pretty long piece of that, because when you're wire weaving, wire wrapping, anything like that, you're going to need more wire than you think. So I'm going to cut myself a solid 3-foot piece of this wire. We'll see if that's long enough. Thank you, Rune. I will be in touch. Because if I got, that would be the best, like, Christmas / New Year's present ever, if I could just figure out how to make that bill go away. Though at least I'm not in the same situation as my aunt and her husband, who he got a woman in an SUV plowed into him and the pack of bicyclists he was riding with. He wound up with a fractured collarbone that they had to, like, put back together using, parts from Lowe's, screws and pins and whatnot. But even though, like, he was hit by a driver and she was, as far as I know, insured, they were still required to pay $10,000 up front before they would even admit him to surgery. And I'm like, well, if that'd been me, I'd been like, well, sorry, y'all, apparently I'm just gonna go it with, duct tape and, some wood screws. It's nuts. Okay, so I am off the soapbox now, back to making jewelry. So I've got my 3 feet of wire, and I've bent it in half. And I'm going to take the halfway point of my wire, and I'm going to hold it at the top point of my pendant, and then I'm going to start coiling my wire around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be coiling my wire through this center point and around both of these wires until I get to this point, which is where I'm going to start my weaving. So I'm just going to push it through and then pull it. That's fair, Rune. Unfortunately, I do think that my aunt and her husband suffer a little bit from being bougie, and the fact that they actually did have $10,000. Like, it becomes a point of, like, do we really want to fight this fight, or do we just want to pay the money, versus, those of us who don't have $10,000, and just, though the funny thing is, and I have said this before, my aunt actually made all of her money in hospital consulting in the 80s. Basically, she was one of the people hospitals brought in and paid a lot of money to help them figure out how to maximize profits. And you will not find anywhere a more vocal advocate for universal health care. And and she has such guilt over what she did. She's in tons of organizations that advocate for universal health care and helping people with medical aid and medical debt. Unfortunately, she's in a different state than I am, so it's not super helpful for me. But it's just, at the time, it wasn't, she had no idea what kind of monster was being created.
Because it wasn't nearly so bad.
Well, it
20, I mean, it was bad.
It was,
wasn't as obviously that.
well, it was forming the foundations for the terrible, but once again, like, but yeah, she has some stories. Okay, so I've coiled almost all the way down this side. I'm almost to the point where my wire starts to V outwards. And I realize universal healthcare is not without its problems, but woof. The system we got ain't great.
There are fewer people dying.
Then if we had universal healthcare?
No, there are fewer people dying with universal health.
Oh, yes.
I mean, you always hear anecdotal stories about somebody's aunt in Canada had to wait 1,000 years to get into the doctor, but honestly, those are 99% just stories. Every once in a while there's some sort of terrible thing.
Okay, so now I'm going to start the weaving. So what I'm going to do, sorry, I did not mean to turn this into a soapbox broadcast.
I'm sitting down and doing something else now, so.
So I'm going to go around that, and then I'm going to go around this one. So now instead of looping around both of them together, I'm going to loop around each of them individually. Right? Thank you, Rune. I can soapbox and wire wrap at the same time.
You're so good.
Okay, so I wrapped around that. I wrapped around this. Now what I got to do is bring this up through the center here and repeat. So I'm bringing it over, and then I'm going to go around this outside one, around the inside one. So around the outside, around the inside, and then I'm going to go up through the center and across this space. And then we're again going to go completely around the outside, completely around the inside, and then across the space. Yeah, no, so funny story about my aunt and her husband, who are amazing, fabulous people. But I got to visit them for a little bit of an extended stay when I was in Wisconsin last spring, and everything that they said, I was like, y'all are bougie. Y'all are real bougie. Like, we were gonna do gin and tonics, and my aunt's like, are you okay with Fever Tree tonic? Because that's all we have. I'm like, y'all bougie as shit. Of course, then I Amazon primed them a container of Luxardo cherries because they'd never had them, so I think that also qualifies me as bougie as shit. So, you know. We didn't, I know. Well, by the time it came back available, I didn't have the $150 for it. But we did, Heather and I did co-order at one point a restaurant service can of Luxardo cherries, which per ounce was a killer deal. But then it wasn't available, and then when it was available, like I said, I didn't have the money for it. And also I should check in with my aunt, because she has COVID too. Hi, Keiko! I got to meet Keiko on Sunday. Yes. And she brought me a super sweet present. And got to meet my crazy roommates, Scott and Maggie, and hang out with us, and it was so much fun. So thank you for meeting me, even though I was like, I'm so tired, I'm falling asleep. And she's like, but please. I'm like, okay, fine. And that was the right decision. And then I did not, yeah, no, then I didn't fall asleep until several hours later. Okay, so this is where my weaving is so far. So I'm just going to work on filling in this last little bit here. So what's special about Luxardo cherries? They're so good. They're like, oh, maraschino cherries are a sad, like, clown nose pale imitation of Luxardo cherries. Amaro cherries, which Trader Joe's sells, are much closer to Luxardo cherries, but like the actual Luxardo brand cherries are so good. They're like dark and syrupy, and they're sweet without being cloying. And I love me a good maraschino cherry, please don't get me wrong. Like, I was raised on maraschino cherries, but Luxardo cherries are like next level. They're so good. And I have a recipe to make my own, and I keep missing cherry season. I'm like, oh, I want to make Luxardo cherries. Oh, look, it's not cherry season anymore. 'Cause, yeah. Because it's interesting, actually, how, as, you know, someone in the modern world who grew up with supermarkets and whatnot, like, the seasonality of vegetables and fruits is not something that is actually ingrained into my psyche. Like, it would be if I lived in, you know, another time and place. Because, you know, you can get cherries any time of year, you just can't get good cherries any time of year. Okay, so I filled in all of that with my weaving. Now I'm going to take my wire, and I'm just going to anchor this little paddle to the side of my frame. Going like this. A couple, 3 times, and then I'm just going to leave that wire because I might need it later to help anchor my teardrop. Now I'm just going to do the same thing, except hopefully a little faster on the other side. Yeah, I never know what fruit season is what, which is why I have completely stopped trying to grow fruits and vegetables. I do have a lime tree though, which I've somehow managed not to kill, and this year it produced like 6 limes that were like this big. So 6 tiny little limes.
Oh, I have a picture of the lime from last year.
Yeah. So 6 itty bitty limes is what my tree has produced. This is the 4th or 5th year I've had it. I haven't killed it yet. So yay for that. It makes pretty flowers that smell good. It's good for pollinators. But yes, VV small limes. Okay, so now I'm just continuing on. So I'm at the coiling part right now, and then I'm going to do the weaving part. So let's see, I've missed everybody. I have no idea what's been going on in your lives because I've been incommunicado. Is everything okay?
Yes, it's a Diane.
Oh, it's a Diane! Yay!
Hi, I'm just trying to be quiet because I know you're streaming.
No, Corvus. I do not want to know how many limes and oranges you have now. Hi, I love you. No, I do not want to know. That's okay, Corvus is here. So I'm going to coil down this side, and then I'm going to weave that area. Corvus, for anybody who doesn't know, lives in California, the land where fruit trees just like freaking produce fruit and you don't even have to do anything. Nee. Totally rude. Diane, how are you?
Good, how are you?
I am okay. How's the Mambo situation?
I've been avoiding the woman.
Ah.
She
Tell-
wants to get together to discuss it, and I just told her I had too much going on.
Tallyfet says hi, Diane.
I tell her that.
I have a new hair color.
Ooh, I love it. Did you get the dyes that I... Okay, there's a bag
Okay.
in the back that says Diane. That's the dyes that I said I would give you.
Perfect. Okay.
Now, I thought about it after I replied to your text, and I was like, I should have told you to change it, like, remove all the we's from the scenario.
Yeah, like
Because it's not your fault or your responsibility.
right, she wants to pay her contractor to come Mambo-proof my house.
Okay.
I don't want anybody in my house.
Okay.
So, we're...
Oh, bring your neck over here.
It's a herringbone. Tubular herringbone.
Which... Look at this awesomeness Diane has on her neck. Tubular herringbone stitch. It's so freaking pretty. Someday I have to get you to teach me that. Corvus says she's ignoring the color because Corvus is allergic to pink. But
of my hair.
Of your hair, but she says it looks very nice.
Oh, good. I was like, of my necklace or my hair? Because my necklace is definitely not pink.
No, I think she was definitely talking about your hair. Oof.
Yeah, so I mean, I kind of feel like we're at a standstill.
Mm.
So I'm just kind of ignoring her because my uncle's father-in-law did die on Monday. So I just don't want to deal with that
Right.
woman right now.
Yeah.
So
Tallyfet knows what herringbone is. She says it's fun.
yeah, but I have a friend that does it in 15s. And makes a necklace from
Crazy.
tubular herringbone in 15s. I'm never doing that. Can't pay me enough for that.
But yes, Keiko, that necklace is incredibly pretty. Alright, I didn't mean to Shanghai you onto the stream.
No, it's okay. I didn't mean to interrupt.
You're fine. I asked.
I'm looking for soldered rings, so that's why I'm here.
We probably have some.
Yes. I just need to find the right flavor.
Don't eat the rings, Diane. Don't eat the beads. Actually, hey Heather.
Yeah.
Could you grab me the star that Lydia made?
Yes.
So I can show it on stream because it's so cool. So my hairdresser, our hairdresser, she's kind of the Beading Dreams hairdresser. Her mom has
Wow, that is not easy to get down. But
has developed a passion for seed bead work, and so last Christmas she made us this amazing set of ornaments. That was the 12 days of Christmas, and so she gave us one, which was the partridge in a pear tree, and it is all in size 11 delicas.
I had to cut it down.
Oh goodness. In brick stitch. Tallyfet. Do not make me bananate you for the whamming.
Tallyfet. I was thinking it too. Hey, that's awesome, Rune.
Can I like temper?
But it doesn't actually count if it isn't wham.
I feel like we need to mod the word heart or Christmas. Let's mod the word Christmas.
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
hi, Shaquille. I heard that you had a bat in your house.
Oh, it's Shaquille.
Yes. Okay, but no, Talifet, I know you will appreciate this. Look at this amazing work that Kathy's mama did. So this is the partridge in the pear tree. So there's the partridge in the pears, and it's a 5-section star done in brick stitch, peyote stitch. I don't even know.
It's peyote.
It's peyote. Okay,
Yeah,
Diane.
3D stars are typically done in peyote.
Diane says it's peyote. I will. Yeah, Talifet agrees. Y'all are smarter than me in this, so yeah. Isn't it amazing? It's so freaking pretty. And I cannot even imagine having enough time to spend making something like this. But it's so pretty. And we are so happy that Lydia was kind enough to give us one of her beautiful things. But anyway, Shaquille, I'm glad that you won and not the bat. So how's everything? Okay, I'm continuing on. It's 7:03. I'm going to try and wrap this up by 7:15. Just saying. So I'm continuing my weaving now down this side. Well, hi, Prince. I mean, to be fair, bats are small, and Shaquille does not seem to be a small, tiny person, so I feel like Shaquille versus bat. Shaquille wins. Really, Prince, see, I don't tend to pay attention to, though I will say, so I was at Dickens on the Strand in Galveston, this past weekend, which is a Victorian themed Christmas festival, and there was actually a booth of a woman who did some really, really beautiful seed bead covers for ornaments, which Diana's done and which we've taught as a class, but it was really cool to see that because they were really pretty. I was trying not to spend any money, and then I went and bought a purse that looks like a clock. That is a clock that actually tells time. So I failed at my spend zero mission for Dickens, but it's so cool. Oh, ornament covers prints are actually really fun and fairly quick, generally speaking, especially if you do them like in a net. I mean, there are like, you can do like Russian leaves and all kinds of like crazy shit with them, but if you just do a basic netting, I am not a seed beader. I can seed bead, but it's definitely not my passion. Like, I can even knock out just a regular netting ornament cover in less than an hour. And they're really fun to give as gifts as well. But then, I have friends, my friend Sandra, who I saw this weekend, who used to do the Russian leaves ones. Oh yes, Keiko got to see the purse in person. She did. In person. Because I got it on Sunday, and she was there on Sunday night. It's so fun. I love it. Love that it actually tells time.
You need to bring it up here so I can see it.
Look to your right and on the floor. It's my new everyday purse.
That is so cool. It's heavy though. That's the only caveat.
Yeah, it is, but I don't think it's really any heavier than my regular leather purse. It's not super capacious. Like, the round design of it, I'll show it on the sale stream. The round design of it is not, like, extremely efficient. But it was one of those where I was, like, looking at it, and I was, like, surreptitiously snapping a photo, like, I could make this. And then I asked the gentleman who was selling them, who obviously had not made them, who was obviously reselling them how much it was, and he said a number, and I was like, is that it? For real? That's not worth my time to make it for that. And so I just bought it. Which means, oh, my fellow industrious denizens of the internet, it's probably out there somewhere on the internet. Okay, so
I could have done that.
that's okay. So this is my new purse.
Well, she didn't say to do it. I just.
No, Heather just decided. So it has an actual working clock. It's battery powered, and then it unzips. Like
Like a hat
so.
box.
Yeah, like a hat box. And so it's a little cramped inside. You can see it's a little bit stuffed in there. But it is, and then it has the handle. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And the clock is legitimately, like, does keep time. And then I added the guitar strap. It came with a just a plain pleather strap, but I added the guitar strap to it. So yes, this is my new purse. I love it. It also has a pocket on the back.
So you and Sam, with her working phone purse, can fight it out.
Seriously. Oh, we totally have to have a purse duel. It's true. But yeah, so I purchased that purse from somebody who had obviously purchased it, you know, probably from China, and was reselling. So I paid $65 plus tax for that purse, which I thought was very reasonable considering the amount of time and effort it would take me to make my own. But again, my netizens, I'm betting that it's out there somewhere on the internet, direct from China, for less than half of that. Just saying. I'm happy with my $65 purse. Again, not worth my time to make it for that, but I feel like they're out there for less. But yes, I'm super jazzed by having the working clock purse, and I've already gotten so many compliments on it, because I was like, I can totally wear this out and about in Dallas. Like, this does not have to just be a steampunk thing. Like, no, I'm taking this writ large in the general Dallas fashion scene, and so far I've gotten a ton of compliments on it. Okay, so obviously I didn't do a great job of finding the center of my wire, but I've got like just enough to finish this off. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to wrap this paddle to my frame. And I'm going to use my chain nose pliers to help me with that. So this is pretty much the entire reason why I did not trim this wire here, because I ran out of wire on this side, so the only wire I have to add my teardrop is this one here. If I had cut that off, then I'd have to go through the, you know, whole thing of adding a new wire, which I really don't want to do. I'm going to take my, right, so now I'm going to take my teardrop, and I'm going to put my wire through there, right, helping people keep time as I walk by. Hell yes. I'm providing a public service. So what I want is I want this to nestle right up in there. So the problem here is where my wire is, it's holding it a little too low. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to coil my wire up this a little bit. So that it ends right about here. Exactly. It's totally a conversation piece. And I loves it. Okay, so now I'm going to take my wire and put that teardrop on. Like I said, I wasn't supposed to spend any money this weekend, but I could not resist. So cool. That does make me kind of want to, it does kind of want to make, bless, it does make me want to make other styles of clock bags. So there is a rabbit hole there that I'm going to try not to go down. So now I'm going to go ahead and wrap here and then all the way down. A purse with a purpose. Oof. Ta-da. Okay, so I'm going to anchor that there, and I'm just going to wrap all the way back down here until I can anchor off back down there. I know, Keiko, our schedule's been kind of erratic lately, but we're going to continue tutorial streams all the way through Christmas. And this week is all kind of repeats because I did not have time to make new class samples before I left for Dickens, but next week's going to be new classes, including cat toys, and so things to put in your furry feline friends stocking, and some other cool Christmas holiday tutorials. So we're going to do our best on the Beading Dream stream to help you with the holiday crunch time. Alright, so there's my teardrop on, and then I'm just going to wrap a couple times around here to secure. So 1, 2, and trim. And then I just want to make sure everything, thank you Keiko for posting in Discord. I want to make sure everything is just kind of tucked in and tucked flat. Alright, and there we go. That is our temple pendant. So, let's see. I would want to shift that a little bit more towards the center. That's perfect. If I wanted to make a little bit more space between my teardrop and the bottom, I could actually squeeze this to make it a little bit narrower and longer. And then as far as attaching this to a necklace, I could just put a large jump ring here and put down a chain, a piece of necklace of beads, or the cord, whatever I wanted. So thank you so much for hanging out with us on the, oh Lord, you're fired! So, thank you for hanging out with us on the Wednesday evening tutorial stream for the temple pendant. Really fun, super easy, and I dare I say impressive project. And so this would be a good, if you're looking for a last minute Christmas gift, this would be a good one because it is really, really pretty. So, thank you so much for thank you so much for hanging out on the tutorial stream, even though you're punning. All of you, don't like you punning people. You're punning, Keiko's punning. Running with a bad crowd, Keiko. And Prince is jumping on the bandwagon, so we're going to go ahead and end this stream now. So, thank you so much for hanging out with us on the tutorial stream for Temple Pendant. We will be back on this channel, twitch.tv/beadingdream, in just about half an hour. That's around 7:45 with a live merchandise sale. I've got 8-inch gemstone strands for you that Heather did not get to on Saturday, and I've got a couple of fun new items for you as well. So, it is officially in between stream break. That means grab yourself a snack, make yourself a cocktail, get comfy, get cozy, get ready for some bead retail therapy in the comfort of your living room, office, or from wherever you are observing the Beading Dream stream. Thank you again so much for hanging out during the tutorial, once again for the temple pendant. And Heather and I will see you back on this channel, twitch.tv/beadingdream in 30 for sale. All right, we'll see you soon. Bye.